Welcome to PPR Podcast number 214.
5, I think.
No, 4.
I think it's 5.
215.
214.
It's either 214 or 215. We'll figure it out at the end of the conversation. My name is Paul, but the star is to my right. I was looking at this guy's game film from yesteryear. I forgot how good a football player you were.
I can't believe it's in color. I thought it was going to become black and white, too.
You're a beast.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks.
You're a beast. Bert Grossman, everybody, who before his football fame was also, or after his football fame, is also PPR co-host, and now you're introducing the next football coach at Olympian High.
Coach Lew Barnes, Lincoln legend and Oregon Duck. Seems like a lot of Lincoln kids been going to Oregon forever?
Yes.
Were you the first? Did you set that standard?
Yeah, I think I was the first Lincoln High grad to attend the University of Oregon.
So you started the pipeline.
Yes, we started off back 1983.
Well, congratulations on that. Coach, this is my opening question to you. Football has been very, very good to you. And you are now at, I assume we're of similar age groups. You're younger maybe, but.
Coach is 2 years younger than me.
All right, so you guys are a little bit younger than me, but still you're in the put your feet up and relax stage of your life. Why would anyone want to take on a high school football program? Let's start right there. What is this, a calling? What is this, sir?
Well, so I'm 62, and I believe it is a calling. I love the game of football. I think God created me to play football. And it's just really an opportunity to get back to a community and help some young men further their careers and enjoy the sport that I love so much.
I'm from down there, and the one thing I've always noticed that it seems to be an obstacle is a lot of good football players in there, but it's so diluted. If I had a rock and I stood at modern day, I could probably hit Eastlake with it. I could hit Otay Ranch with it. I could hit Olympian with it. You have 4 schools that are like a mile radius. Is it hard to get kids, and it dilutes it so much down there?
Well, it's probably going to be challenging because there's actually 5 schools. Bonita's right out of that Throw Rock range. And so there's a lot of competition. Olympian is an excellent school academically. And my goal is to go down there and make our program as attractive as any of those other schools in the area.
So that entails then getting, one man can't do this. You have to have the support of assistant coaches and the support of the administration. Do you feel like you have all the pieces? I don't know. I don't know the Olympian's going to be in the open division anytime soon, but you still want to field a competitive football program. And are you in a position to do that, sir?
Yeah, so right now I am in the process of developing 3 full staffs. I have a varsity staff, which is 5 offense and 4 defense, and there's a special teams coordinator. And then at the JV level, I am goaling to have 7 coaches, 4 offense and 3 defense, a special teams coordinator. And then as of now, I'm in the process of developing my novice staff. So ultimately, at the end of the day, we'll have 3 full staffs with 2 special teams coordinators. We're going to have a strength trainer and also a field trainer to work on our speed and development and agilities. So at the end of the day, there will be a total of, if I get my wish, right at about 24 to 25 coaches to make sure that these kids are trained and developed and are given the opportunity to become the best student athlete they have the potential for.
You have a full-time job, not on campus, off campus, and then you got to take this off. Like, what are you going to sleep? Do you have any time off to do anything?
Well, I don't sleep much as it is now. So this is just something, it is a desire of mine. I've been very particular. Haven't applied for many head coaching jobs, but I do have a soft spot in my heart for Olympian. I'm, a Lincoln grad. But my daughter graduated from Olympian in 2016. She was a track star there. There's 2 banners of her in the basketball arena. And so love the community, lived out there for a while myself. Actually, I live in El Cajon, so it'll be a little commuting to get there. But at the end of the day, as you impact kids' life, the time becomes well spent. And I'm just really excited to to give a little bit back to a community that I lived in and that has been very supportive of my daughter and her career.
Yeah, if I could just follow up on that, because I honestly think if I look back on my life, the people that have the biggest impact on it weren't teachers per se, they were coaches, be it whatever sport I was playing at the time, no matter how well I was playing. Those are the people that you spend the most time around and you end up having the most impact on your life. And I'm curious, is this about winning football games, or is this about turning boys into men?
This is about the transition of young men into being good men in community. My wife is a teacher, extremely familiar with the role that teachers and coaches play. And again, it's just an opportunity to get some kids going in the right direction. We're really going to focus on the academics. Like I said, Olympian is, if not one of the top academic schools in the area, and very highly ranked in the Southern California area. So it's a great opportunity to combine great academics with a great athletic program.
Hey, take me back, because a lot of people don't understand like how much football's changed. You were drafted by the Bears, correct?
Yes, 1985, I was drafted in the 5th round to the Chicago Bears. That was a year after they won the Super Bowl.
So so obviously you have Buddy Ryan and Mike Ditka, two of the most hard-nosed, because I can't curse on this, mean coaches probably ever, Buddy Ryan especially, ever to grace the coaching field. How different has football, because you go to Olympia now and everything, not just Olympian, all the kids are kind of coddled now, compared to like when you were playing there. Can you bring anything from those two guys to a high school program, or you just have to throw it all away?
No, you bring some of the color, but not all the flavor, I guess. I didn't actually, wasn't coached by Buddy Ryan, but I was coached by Mike Ditka. And there's a level of intensity, Bert, that that you have to have with this game. It's a very physical game, and so my idea was to bring an appropriate level of intensity and focus. Of course, we can't treat the kids the way that we were treated, and they're not going to be exposed to the conditions that I was exposed to. As an example, we went out to practice in the winter, and it was 60 below zero. Going into the last part of the season. And then when we started out the season in Planksville, I believe it's in Iowa somewhere, 95 degrees at the AM practice, 95% humidity, and 100 degrees and 95% humidity at the second practice. So again, here in California, and just the way things are today, the conditions of training and development, we got to take those things into consideration. But ultimately, this is a game. It's an emotional game. It's a physical game. And we're going to train our kids to be the best athletes they can be on the field.
Because believe it or not, our paths may have crossed. I was working as a Cub reporter in Madison, Wisconsin, and the Bears used to train at UW-Platteville. I don't know if...
Yes.
That was in Wisconsin, and this is what I remember from that, because I think it was my first year on the job was the year after you guys won the Super Bowl, and the first day of two-a-days. I mean, this is, how back in the day you'd wear shorts for a couple days, and
it was 3 days back then. Remember, there was a special teams practice too.
You guys were in full pads day one, scrimmaging with, like, Walter Payton was scrimmaging and I'm thinking, my God, how about easing into this a little bit? And that was insane.
It was. You spend a good deal of time preparing for camp. And no matter how much time you spend, those first 3 or 4 days until you get acclimated is a complete shock for the body.
And half the time you're not even allowed to have water until there's an actual water break. You can't just go over and get your water bottle like they do now, and they have like Starbucks things and Stanley cups.
No, but I just thought that was, and I know Mike Ditka, Iron Mike and all this, it wasn't hurting him any. He was standing on the sidelines. I can't remember if it was still Iron Mike at the time. I think it was, but
it was.
It was just, and I thought, okay, this is just the way it is at the professional level.
Yeah, and that's my point was, because when I first started coaching, I went and coached high school D-line. I couldn't really bring anything from when I played or anything to that level because it has changed so much. I mean, I had, coaches would be smoking and put their cigarette out on your helmet if you did something wrong and curse at you, and you couldn't do anything. So it's just almost like you have to ease into coaching high school, and it's such a transition. It's not just the X's and O's; it's how you treat the kids.
Exactly. And kids these days, they're like I said, they're raised a little different. The lifestyle is a lot different, and you make the modifications. There's certain things and certain characteristics that you will bring, but it's all in your presentation and how you get it to them to make sure that they're safe. We're going to make sure our kids are, that they're not dehydrated, that they're properly nutrition and they're properly hydrated going into practice. And then you just create in an appropriate work and training environment, which lends to the safety and development of these young athletes.
Hey, you were a 3-time All Pac-10 back in the day, performer at Oregon. What'd you think when the conference just blew up? Was that hard for you?
Not really. Oregon, when we got there, we were winning 2 games. And then I think my first year there, we went to 4 games. And then I think we won 5 or 6 games my second and third year. But, Oregon is a great program. They're very well supported. It's actually a great place to play football. And, with all of the support from Nike, it just doesn't surprise me at the level that they're performing and how they've reorganized these conferences. I don't necessarily agree with all of the changes, but things kind of are what they are.
Were you a college All-American?
Some of the, not consensus, but yeah, a few.
So in this conversation, we have 2 All-Americans?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And one.
I think it was consensus, though. I wasn't.
My All-American claim to fame is I was on the same team with Bo Jackson.
Oh, hey, we got to ask you about Bo. Did you get to meet him at all?
Yes, I did. Bo is an example of God saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to make somebody really special. And here he is. And I think he was that gifted. He was that blessed. He was the most outstanding athlete that I've ever seen. My one experience with Bo when we did meet is when I played for the Atlanta Falcons. And I share this story with a lot of people because it's something I'm actually very proud of. And he came over to our hotel to say hello to a couple of guys that he played with. And as I was walking through, he pointed to me, he said, hey, we got something for you. And that really, I was really proud of that. And I was like, wow, Bo Jackson knows who I am. And that game, I got the game ball because I lit the Raiders up. And so I was extremely proud. I remembered his comment, and then after actually getting the game ball for that particular game, was just a great memory of one of my NFL games.
Who's faster?
Oh, I'm way faster than Bo. No, I don't. You know what? There's only one person I think that may have competed with Bo Jackson, and that would be Deion Sanders.
Herschel
in a pursuit. I just, Deion was something different than, and Bo was special, but I think Deion may have had the ability to run Bo down.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember my rookie year, I held out all camp, signed like a day before the opener, and we were playing up in LA at the Coliseum. It was 90 degrees. There was smog, which I didn't even know what smog was, and they had Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen in the backfield. And I was literally going to quit and give my signing bonus back at halftime. And the coach yelled at me, talked me out of it, and I went back out in the second half. Worst experience of football in my life.
Why? Because
they were just so good. I was out of shape. That smog was killing me. I was just like, this isn't for me. I don't want to do this anymore. At halftime. Then I got in shape. Yeah, that's just how bad it was.
You think Platteville was bad? You trying to breathe in and sucking up some smog all day. I could imagine being a lot worse than Platteville.
Yeah.
But I can imagine you having to face Marcus and Bo.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that wasn't good. So give me, I know you're a new coach, you got to take over a program, build a program. Is it like, do you manage expectations and be like, hey, it's going to take a couple years, or do people expect right away that you're going to change everything overnight? I mean, how do you manage expectations with that?
Well, one day at a time. I met with the kids last week, and I don't like to lose. So I'm not going in this with the attitude that we're going to lose a lot of games. I did explain to them there's a difference of losing and being beaten. Sometimes you're going to be the better team and you're going to win, and sometimes you're not going to be the better team, and then you will get beaten. The loss is a reflection of not working hard and not preparing. So got a lot to do with meeting 70 to 100 or 100 or so young new student athletes, and getting them in the right training and the right preparation mindset is going to be a bit of a challenge. So, but we'll take it game by game, week by week. We'll prepare these kids and these young athletes to do the best they can in each game that we face. And but like I said, I'm not going into any game with the expectation anything less than winning the game.
70 to 100 kids, is that the sweet spot for a football program, or would you like to see that 100 become 150?
Actually, I was advised that it might be 150. I had about 70 kids at the first meeting last week. That's not including the freshmen that are coming in, and obviously the seniors that are going out. So it was a pretty good number that showed up, and I'm hoping that I would love to get 150. Ideally, looking at the numbers, if you can get 50 kids on each level and create your program, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I would say.
Wait, do you have enough? The schools have enough? If you had 150 kids show up and they all stayed, you have enough equipment to suit 150 kids?
Yeah, I was told we have enough to accommodate 150 kids.
Oh, or they'll find a way to get 100. I mean,
it's a school district. Good luck with that.
We're
playing flag.
Well, if one of the coaches from, I believe he's at Hilltop, we're going to make this program attractive so that we can attract as many kids that are interested in becoming football athletes as possible. And again, that's why my goal is I'm not going to build my program from the backside. I'm going to provide the coaches, and if we have kids, then great. I don't have to worry about trying to hustle to get extra coaches. So, like I said, I'm going to try to have at least 7 on each level at the JV and novice with a special teams coordinator. And if I get those 100 kids, I know I can accommodate them and get everybody trained up to develop into varsity players at some point.
Because the school is attractive for the academic side. It's
and the campus is beautiful.
Yeah,
too,
beautiful campus. So it's just a matter of. I guess the other part of the element in here is the feeder programs. All the successful programs seemingly have a Pop Warner or youth football feeder program. Does Olympian have something like that, or will they have something like that?
No, there's a lot of youth programs already active in the area, and again, not gravitating to any one particular program. Like I said, we're going to make our program attractive and make it really make it the marquee school of the area. I don't think if I was a parent and I was a parent that brought my kid there, I had options to go, and we chose Olympian for its academic background. And you combine the academics with the social and the success of a football program and the training. I think it just makes for a great combination and attractive to parents that are interested in bringing their kids and exposing them to a program that's going to not only benefit them on the field, but also benefit them in the classroom and in the community.
Yeah, I think all that's left, because they used to have Otay Ranch was like the Broncos, they had the Bonita Bucks, Eastlake Panthers. I think it's down just Eastlake Panthers, but those kids don't necessarily go to Eastlake. They kind of spread around the schools around there. So there's kind of a feeder for all 5 schools, but it used to be exclusive. Eastlake went to Eastlake, Otay went to Otay. Bonita Bucks kids went everywhere else. They never went to Bonita, but they're all gone now.
You know, when we sat around the kitchen table as a kid, my old man, he was a man of few words, but his favorite line was, hey, be the guy that makes a difference. Be that one guy that makes a difference. One man can make a difference. I get the feeling, Bert, that we're speaking to that right now. We're speaking to the guy who's going to make a difference. And is that I mean, that's a kind of a weighty thing to have on your back. It doesn't seem to be bothering you at all, Coach.
No, I'm very excited. This is, I actually applied for this job. This was my fourth time applying at Olympian. I coached there from 2012 to 2019, and each time they transitioned, I was actually one of the interviewees. And again, like I said, this is something that I want to do. It's very specific of where I would coach. I'm not coaching for any glory. I really want to get some kids properly trained and get them to understand the value of being a student athlete. So it's heavy. It's heavy weighted. My wife is is a little different. She said I better win every game, so that came with no pressure. But we will strive to do the best we can and make sure that this program is the best that it can be.
Is Bing Dawson still on staff?
Bing is on staff. You got to have Bing. Man. He's a exceptional man. He and his family. He's been very supportive of me. I've worked with him, and he is just an above average coach. And I am looking forward to him being a part of this program as long as he chooses.
Fourth time applying. This is, I know what would motivate me is it took you 4 times to hire me, and then would be, I would use that as a motivational tool. There's some people you could say, told you so, you should have hired me from the get-go.
Yeah.
Well, the success of the program will answer that question. And again, I'm just going to get out here and do my best, put my heart into it as I've always have. And like I said, this is a sport that I love, and getting great coaches around these young men to have them exposed to the appropriate and effective training is going to determine, my value as a coach. And again, I hope I'm not valued on the wins and losses. Those typically take care of themselves. But the product of the young men that we put out that go off to college and go out, or go into some type of whatever career they choose, whatever their life paths are, giving them the skills and the training and the background and the mindset to really be successful. We know we all know very few of us make it to that level of the NFL. And that's not my focus. My focus is creating young men that will be productive in their lives and in their societies and be good men for their families.
All right, you've been in football a long time. Coaching now, what's your biggest influence coaching-wise in your past? Who was the biggest influence to what you are now as a coach?
My biggest influence, my coaches, if I could mutate myself, I would be a little bit of Dicker, be a little bit of Tony Dungy, and then a little bit of Andy Reid. And again, when you take those characters, I think Andy Reid has done an outstanding job with the Chiefs and their creativity and the plays that they run and the way that they run their offense. Tony Dungy's character, speaks for itself. He's a very great man. I coached under him. And then Mike Dicker was my first coach in the NFL. And when you talk about tenacity and playing the game the way it's designed and created to be played, I really took a lot from him. And my all-time favorite coach would really go back, and I hate to say a favorite, but he is going to be my favorite coach, was Coach Vic Player in high school. And he taught me and our team the grid of what it took to be successful and what it took to play this game at the level that we were able to play at with 24, 25 athletes. And so he really he made me into the athlete that I was going into college and eventually on into the NFL.
Wow. Dude, the fact that you guys have NFL stripes, does that give you immediate credibility with the kids on the field, or is that so long ago that the kids?
So long ago.
Yeah.
Do the kids identify?
They don't. If I didn't tell them that I played, or if it wasn't promoted that I played NFL, they probably would not know who I was, which is fine. I usually don't lead with that. It's really more about character for me. But it does put a little burden because there's an expectation that comes along with the responsibility of knowing that you played this game at the highest level possible.
Coach, before we wrap this up, things have changed since the days you were recruited. I mean, now open conversations about money, this, that, and the other thing, transfers, portal, all the. Is the game better off in your view? Do you wish you had access to some of that NIL money and some of that flexibility, or do you think the game has now put such an emphasis on immediate gratification that it's detrimental to the learning process?
I'm not a fan of the NIL. I think it's going to dilute the process of transitioning high schoolers into college. And I think what it's going to do is going to cause a huge separation in our divisions, in our conferences of the college athletes. I don't disagree with the payment of the student athletes because they should get their due. But I think they could have done a little better job in organizing and structuring it so that it benefits more kids and it doesn't cause such a separation in the types of schools. I'm really concerned about the HBCUs and the smaller schools and other lower divisions that just don't get the representation and the financial support. So you're going to see. I think you're going to see a huge gap in these divisions. A lot of the teams that are going to be very well supported, you're going to see them rise to the top, and then you're going to see a lot of kids that are going to be transferring, to as many schools as they possibly can. And then you worry about, how does this affect their ability to get their degree? And are they going to obtain their master's degree? And so consequently, and at my program, I've told all of my kids, we don't talk about the intermediate. I only want to hear about you going to get your master's. And when you come back and you tell me that you got your master's degree, then job well done. But this whole paid and this, the separation of these divisions with the amount of money that these kids are exposed to, I think we're going to see probably it's not going to be the most effective way to get our kids educated and get them out into the world.
All right, Coach, we're going to wrap this up, but we're going to let you wrap it up. Make your pitch to mom and dad. Bert and I are raising a kid. We're raising a family together. Make your pitch to us.
The world's changed.
Yeah, we're California parents, Coach.
Yeah.
Make your pitch to us. Why should we send our little Joey to come play for you?
Well, little Joey is going to be well protected. He's going to be well trained. He will have a requirement to be a good young man in the class. He will have a requirement to be a good young man on the campus. He will be required to be a good young man in the community and to ultimately become the best team player that he can become. Olympian is an excellent place for academics, and your child will be well trained and developed and will go off to college and be successful and will obtain a minimum a master's degree. So we're gonna protect our kids. I explained to the kids that I met last week that I am here for them. I love them and will protect them and make sure that they are reaching their full potential.
I'll play for you, Coach. Joey can stay home. I'll come play for you. I got a year eligibility left.
We don't use biblical names anymore for California parents. It can't be Joseph.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. A couple things. Just so this is what I'm going to post this up on our YouTube page in a little bit, and then I start posting it up on our social media. But I like to have pictures. Do you have any pictures from your playing days, either with the Bears, Ducks, Lincoln, anything that you could send me that I could use to sweeten the clips that I'm going to cut? And especially if you have anything from those Bo Jackson days, that's the one story that I'm definitely going to share. If you have anything like that, can I give you my email that you can send it to me?
Email. If you send me that email, I'll get you what I have.
Do you have Coach's
phone number? And the greatest resource is YouTube.
Yeah, but we're
They
not allowed to
actually
use that,
have
Coach.
those games on YouTube.
I know, but that gets me into trouble. It's got to be stuff that you own that comes from your possession. Coach, I'm going to give you my email so that we don't expose your email over the line here. My email is prudy, R-U-D-Y, prudy at KUSI.com. And Bert will remind you, prudy at KUSI.com. Chris Smith has all my information. But send me as many pictures of your playing days as possible, and especially if you have anything from that Bo Jackson day, and I'm going to go look up and see what we can use from Bo Jackson.
Or you got any with you and Coach Vic Player?
When we won CIF, I have a picture of Coach Player, Damon Allen, and the commissioner and the Coca-Cola representative.
I want
so
those
I can get
too.
That picture over to you.
And Coach, the sooner you can get them to me, the better, because I start editing this in a couple hours' time.
Got it. I'll work on that right away.
God bless. Coach, we could be a good asset for you. We're all about high school football. So if you ever need anything or have anything that you think we can help with, we are but a phone call away, and we will, we need you more than you need us. But if there's any way we can help out, we want to foster a relationship so that you come to trust us, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate your support. God bless you both.
All right back at you, Coach.
Thanks,
PPR
Coach.
Podcast number 214 or 215. I'm going to go check. It's one or the other. It's over. Coach, take care. We'll talk to you all later next week.
All right. Thank you.
It's 215. You'll see.